Yo guys, my name is Snowman and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a rage type beat. So in LMMS, I don't really like making a bunch of crazy like EDM type beats. So the rage beat that I'm going to be making isn't as crazy as some of the other beats that you might hear. It's going to be more of like that Miss the Rage by Trippie and playboi carti, like simple, but it's still going to be hard and you are going to get that rage sound. So stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get rid of everything that isn't the beat and bassline editor. Okay, so now that we have everything gone, we can go into our beat and bassline and expand this. We can get rid of this kick because it's not that good. So now that you have an empty beat and bassline, we go here to our instrument plugins, go down to Vestige and drag that in. Now we have Vestige and we click that, go to C5 and press this folder. So now that we have this open, we're going to look for Synth 1, and Synth 1 is basically a free VST that has a ton of free sounds. I already made a video on it, so just check that out and you get the download link. Trust me, you're going to want to get this VST and it's free, so why not get it, right? So we're going to open this up. And now you may think, oh, we're going to look for a rage sound, right? Well, not yet. So now we're going to go and make a chord progression. So you exit out of here, go over here, right click, and open up piano roll. So now that we have our piano roll open, we can choose a key. A key basically allows us to make our chord progressions and melodies much faster. I'm just going to choose E minor because I've made a lot of good songs with E minor, but you can choose any key you want. It doesn't really matter. So as you can see, I've changed my key to E Aeolian, which is the same as E minor. And now I'm just going to create a chord progression. So as you can see, I finished my chord progression. And this is a chord progression that I'm actually going to use in the song, but it's definitely not the sound that we're going to use because as you can see, that sound isn't really like rage and energy and all that stuff. So now what we're gonna do is exit out of here, go into our VST again, and now we're gonna look for a rage sound, which is what makes the beat. So I'm gonna go and find a good sound and I'll be back once I find one. Okay, so I think I found the sound that I want to use. It's in this Dogmeat Saws 1 zip folder, and it's 46 Dogmeat Painkiller, in case you guys are making this beat with me, and I'm gonna let you guys hear it. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty loud and pretty energy, but I kind of don't like some aspects of it. It's kind of loud, even for a rage beat. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go into the amplifier section, and as you can see, the gain is all the way up. I'm going to lower that just a little bit so it's a little bit quieter. So as you can see, I changed the gain to 110 and it's a little quieter now, but I'm also going to go into FX and add an EQ. So as you can see, I added an equalizer here, and I'm going to take out some of the low end and some of the high end. So as you can see, I've added the EQ and I've taken out the low and highs, but now we're also going to add a little touch of reverb. So I have my reverb plugin added, and I'm going to lower this because you don't want it that echoey. I'm just going to lower it to around 0.18, I guess. And now as you can see, it sounds a lot more vibey, a lot more cleaner, and I'm going to let you guys hear it again. So yeah, basically we added that touch and all those little effects, and now you can see we have a perfect sound. So especially if a lot of you guys are beginners, don't be afraid to like add an EQ, add some reverb, and change up the sound. You know, you don't have to choose the preset and use it exactly as it is. So now that we have our main chords down, we're gonna go and use our drums, because once we have our chords down, we can go crazy with the drums. So we're gonna exit out here, go into our folders and click music and our drum kit folder. And I like using this KBZ Fido drum kit. My friend gave it to me. I'll leave it in the description if you guys want to download it. But basically I'm going to open this up and I'm going to add a hi-hat. So yeah, I chose this hi-hat, but one thing I'm going to do now is lower the tempo to 100. And what this will allow us to do is make our hi-hats, even though the tempo is lower, make them seem a lot faster, because usually we would place our hi-hats with one space in between, but since our tempo is so slow, that would just make it like an R&B beat. So what we're going to do is just place a hi-hat in every single box, and that'll make our hi-hats go much faster and add to the energy of the track. Okay, so now we have our hi-hats in. I'm just going to add in this clap rectangle, and I'm going to place it every single time we see this gray section pop up. Okay, so now we have our basic hi-hat and clap pattern down. Now what we got to do is create our 808s. So I'm going to go in here and choose this 808 bullet. So So now we have our 808 bullet in. What I'm going to do to make this hit a little harder is add to the gain of it. So I'm going to amplify this to around like 130. So we're going to do it around there. Then we're going to go to the effects and add an EQ so you can get rid of that low muddiness. So we have our EQ here. I'm just going to drag this to around 60 because I still want it to hit hard because it's a rage beat. I don't want to go all the way to 100 like I usually do, but I'm still going to take away some of the low end. And I'm also going to boost a little bit of the high end because our rage beat melody is pretty high and it's kind of hard for the 808 to shine through that. So I'm just going to boost it a little bit. So as you can see, the highs are a little bit boosted and I've taken away a little bit of the lows, and that's really all we need for our EQ. We're going to go back here, go to our amount, take this all the way up and go to the attack and up this a little bit. We're also going to change this to C so it's in tune. So now that we have fixed our 808, we just have to do the 808 pattern. And for this one, really you just have to have fun. Like, I can't really teach you this, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. So yeah, I'm just going to finish my 808 pattern and I'll be back once I'm done with it. So as you can see, I've finished my 808 pattern, and now what we got to do is add a kick so our 808 hits even harder, because like when you have a rage beat, you really want your 808s to knock. So I'm going to go back into the KBZ kit, go into the kick folder, and I'm going to use this kick bleep, and I'm basically just going to copy my 808 pattern and paste that into the kick pattern. So now we have both of them as the same, and basically our simple 808 and kick are done. And now what we're going to do is tune our 808s. So we're going to go back into our chords, copy these by holding Control Shift and dragging each of the low notes, and then Control C. Now we go back into our 808 piano roll, and we're going to press Control V. And now we have all our bass notes in here, and this is basically the notes that you want our 808 to hit. So what we're going to do now is just drag this so it fits in between. And I'm going to do this for all of it, and I'll be back once I'm done. So as you can see, I've done my 808 pattern and they're all fit in between where the 808 hits, so I can just erase all of this. And now we're basically done with our 808. So now that we have our 808 and our kick done, you may think there's not really much else to do, but I think I'm going to add a secondary kick. So what I'm going to do here is click this gear and clone this track. So now we have the exact same pattern copied over, but now I'm just going to add some extra kick because there's a little bit of a cool effect when you add a kick without an 808. It kind of makes it sound like it's stuttering. So as you can see, I've added some extra kicks here, like one right here, and it creates a pretty cool effect with the drums. So I'll let you guys hear it now. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of cool now. Honestly, I think that's really it for the drums, man. So now all we gotta do is add a top melody and we're basically done. So what I'm gonna do here is click this gear and clone this track again, and then we can go into the piano roll and erase it, obviously. And now I'm just gonna create a top melody, and this is the part where a lot of producers struggle because they just like cannot figure out melodies, which is why I recommend like having the key, because now like instead of having all these piano notes to look through, you have these simple notes right here, and you know like if you play them after another, it'll sound good. And trust me, like after a few times you practice, like melody making becomes so much easier. You just know what sounds right. So just have fun and try and make the best melody that you can. Just keep going, and eventually, trust me, you'll make a good melody. So yeah, I'm gonna make my top melody right now, and I'll be back once I'm done with that. I basically created my top melody, as you can see, and it's kind of complex, kind of not, but it is what it is. If you want to copy it, obviously you can copy it right now. And that's basically the whole rage beat like done. And if you want to do, you know, you could add some open hats and even like clone this and make the hi-hats like a lot like more complex by like adding another one, going over here, adding another one right here and stuff like that, making like some triplet hi-hats. But I'm just gonna do that off camera. But yeah, basically this whole rage beat is done, and I'll let you guys hear it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed or learned anything, make sure to sub and like the video. And if you have any questions, just comment down below. I'll make sure to answer as many as I can. Probably gonna be all of them because this video is gonna do that well, but if it does, I'll try my best. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.